we have launched a dispute because we can't continue to go to meetings where we speak English and employers can hear. They expect us to go and speak Greek in the meeting, which we do not know. And remember, we're also representing the interests of our members. And therefore, we're going back to our members to report, to say to our members, it does look like they must ready for themselves for a protracted battle with employers if their demands are to be met. Which is why we're not rushing. Which is why we're saying all those who don't like strikes, who think that unions are destructive, it's time to educate society and everybody, but to tell employers that they have got up to now until the month end to come to the table and meet the fair, just demands of our members. Our members, as you can see how much they are earning peanuts. They cannot live on those peanuts. If 35% of a contribution in the economy can push the whole economy into recession, makes one point very fundamentally important for us, which is to say, this economy needs to be beneficiated. We need to ensure that we champion manufacturing and industrialization by making sure that our minerals create jobs here and build a solid economy so that you don't get blackmailed by a small sector in the economy because instead of manufacturing here, you're extracting resources out of this country. But in saying so, people should not, growth is growth for who? There has been growth which translates into huge profits for the bosses. The bottom line is that South African capital have thrived at the back of super exploitation of black and African labor. We salute those workers in Rustenburg who are in a strike for more than 4 months. They are a leading detachment of workers in this country who are saying in one voice, it's time to end colonial wage in this country. It's time to make sure that there is a national minimum wage that ensure economic redistribution. That's the kind of growth we're talking about. We're not speaking about growth that must continue to maximize profit for an elite of the bosses that basically continues to swim in whilst our own people are grinded by poverty, unemployment, and inequalities. Are we sympathetic to projects? Look, we are for manufacturing and industrialization. Those projects are very critical. For instance, we're sitting over a time bomb on Eskom in relation to electricity, which must supply the economy. And therefore, we're saying employers must act responsible. For instance, it is provocation what Eskom is doing, of making this insulting offer to our members when in fact managers in that institution continue to take huge salaries, huge bonuses for themselves. And they have become arrogant in the sense that they can hide behind this essential service agreement. This time around we're saying we will not take responsibility if our members, as they are being forced to take an action, if they finally take that action, they will be justifiable. So there will be nothing that will shift us now that this agreement is coming to an end, not to take what is affecting our members into account and put on the table to employers that, as we are doing, that employers must improve the conditions of our members. Numsa is very clear. This is a political stance taken by the bosses in the Platinum Belt. And even as we see government of late after elections is trying to intervene, this is too late. This strike has been allowed, and we think that for political reason. We think that there has been a firm view that these workers will be defeated. And when they are finished, they will be told, go back to work. And from where we stand, principally, we think that that will set a terrible precedent for the history of struggles of workers if these workers in the Platinum Belt are defeated. And therefore we join those voices who basically says those families who are brutalized by bosses who have insulted us in the recent past, insulting that strike, will we consider to have an alignment with Amcu at some point? For now, there's no alignment with Amcu. We're supporting the strike, but why not? Workers at the end of the day must unite. So we're not standing, dreaming not to unite with other workers. And we're not blackmailed. In fact, there's Numsa on record, having rejected defining of those workers and anybody else who's involved as, what is this name called? As vigilantes. Because we think that that's basically people who have lost their political soul to say when workers are on the strike, they are vigilantes. As Numsa, we're very firm on that. We give those workers solidarity. And does Amcu not recruit our members? They do. We should be coming gun blazing, but we can't do that. Where workers are involved, who have been exploited and facing the condition that they face, our own revolutionary morality explains to us that this is not the time for any form of opportunism. We stand together with those families, with those workers who are basically being negatively affected by the ongoing strike.